What is up, my Twizzies? I am renowned producer and rapper Edward Yeet. Today I'm here to give you guys a tutorial on how to improve your skills in producing and/or sound design in the app known as Bandlab. Bandlab has gotten itself somewhat of a bad name for the fact that it's free and accessible to everyone, meaning that anyone of all skill levels can use it. I personally see this as a good thing. This means that anyone, no matter how good or bad you are at producing, can use this and make stuff. Let's say you happen to be one of those people who aren't so good at producing, and you want to know how to get better. Then this video is made for you. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the video. So here we are right here in a Bandlab project. Title it something simple, like, "The darkest pits of hell can be found within my veins." Now obviously there's nothing on here right now, which is why it isn't making any noise. Before you even place one instrument down, you're gonna wanna set your BPM, your key, and your time signature. Let's set the BPM to something like 145, that's pretty simple. And let's set the key to A minor. They not like us, 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 mustard. Okay, so if you want to get fancy, you can change your time signature to make it something like, say, 5/4, or 5/8, or even 5/1. However, we're just going to stick to something simple right now, which is 4/4, the time signatures most songs are in. Starting out, you're going to want to either choose vocals or virtual instruments. If you have an electric guitar or bass, you could choose guitar or bass, or you could choose the sampler if you're lazy and don't know how to make your own fucking melody. Let's start with a virtual instrument. Now, Bandlab comes with a wide variety of built-in instruments. These plugins are 100% free and are always available to use, even though for some goddamn reason you can import your own. You're gonna wanna choose an instrument that's simple but unique. Let's start with something like the accordion. Now, I know what you're thinking, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Allow us to enter the mix editor. This is where you can place down your notes. What you're gonna wanna do is enable Smart View. This makes it easier to follow along with the key that you've set your track to, because evidently you're not smart enough to do that on your own. Let's start by making a basic chord progression, like this. This, I believe, is called the 7-8-9 chord progression. We're gonna be adding an extra little note at the bottom to give it a bit more bass. Let's hear how this sounds. Beautiful. Now just one chord isn't gonna cut it, so let's add some bonus chords. I call this chord progression the rising chord progression, because it gradually gets higher pitched. Let's hear how this sounds. Now isn't that just fire? Now what you're gonna want to do is mix your track using effects. Bandlab comes with all these built-in presets that are either made by the company themselves or various different independent producers who want to help you out. Let's try this one, Grim by Lil Tag. Let's open it up. Let's see how it sounds. Sounding good already. Let's add a few more instruments. The next one we're gonna wanna add is our drums. You can either choose from drum kits or drum pads. Because I'm feeling adventurous today, I'm gonna go with the post-punk drum kit. Let's see how that sounds. That sounds awesome. Now the building of the drum progression can be a bit boring, but bear with me, guys. We're gonna go with this sample drum pattern right here. Now that is quite fire, but you know what I think it needs? I think it needs some cowbell. Cowbell is an essential part of your drum beat. Without a cowbell, it'll maybe sound terrible unless you have a certain degree of talent. Now let's add some effects. Now unfortunately, because the creators of Bandlab have brain damage, you're unable to put effects on individual drum sound effects, and you can only do it on the loop as a whole. Let's add 808 Heartbreaker. That sounds like shit. Whoever made this, I hope they get fired. Punchy rap. That doesn't sound quite energetic enough. I know what we're doing wrong. See these categories over here? You need to go over to pushed. These are what are designed for drums. Let's go ghost note drums. Still doesn't sound good. Looks like we're gonna have to step in. Because I'm rich and paid for Bandlab Premium, I'm able to access the multi-band compressor. However, if you're a plebeian who cannot afford Bandlab Premium, then you're just gonna have to go without this one. Let's use the multi-band compressor to affect the different frequencies that are used by this drum. Perfect. Let's listen to the whole track now. Awesome, but I think it's missing something. Oh right, it's time to write our hook. Let's create another MIDI instrument and go into the synth leads. Now the synth leads are all very energetic and capture the attention of the listener. Let's go with something fancy like, chip hat. That sounds fun. That sounds terrible. That sounds amazing. Let's go with that. Let's go with this hook right here. Let's see how this sounds. That's great, but the hook doesn't sound quite finished. We need to introduce something called a counter melody, which does pretty much the exact opposite of what the hook does. Let's take the notes of this and kind of adjust them to be kind of different from what the main hook is. The piano sounds nice, but we're gonna want something that vibes more with the song. We're gonna wanna go with acoustic bass staccato. Now, of course, if we want these to be heard, we're gonna have to mix them. Let's go back to our main hook. Let's put Lone 2, which I assume is a reference to the rapper Ken Carson. That gives it more of a staticky feel, I like that. Now for our acoustic bass staccato, let's do Ace Preset by the Kid Ace. Let's hope this is good, or else I'm gonna find where this guy lives. Ooh. Okay, that sounds good. You'll be spared for today, the Kid Ace. We're gonna want to increase the volume on this a bit, though. Great, but it needs one last thing. It needs a bass line. You could either select electric basses, synth basses, or 808s that act as basses. Now we're gonna go with electric basses, because we're feeling old school today. Punchy jazz bass, that sounds like our speed. Excellent. We of course do need to increase the bass value on that. There we go. Now we just gotta expand our loop a bit, and let's see what we've made. Now that your music is completed, you can go ahead and publish it. Simply press the button that says save. Never forget to save. I one time crashed out and burnt down my whole room because I forgot to save a project. Let's add a description. Neighbors are evil. That gives us a bit of insight into what's going through your head when you make your track. For the genre, let's set it as funk. And hit publish, and boom. There it is. It'll get there, I promise. There you have it. Your project should be up and public on your Bandlab profile for everyone to hear. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and I hope you learned a thing or two. If you want to hear more sick beats like the one I just made, make sure to check out my new album 8 Bar Prison, which is now available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and wherever the hell else you listen to music. I have been Edward Yeet, and this was my Bandlab tutorial. Have an epic rest of your day, my Twizzy. I feel like I'm not allowed to say that word.